Welcome to the Growth Mode podcast, where real conversations fuel real business growth. Hosted by Nina Labbe, media strategist with Salem Surround. Get ready to listen, learn, and grow. This is Growth Mode.
Care is rapidly evolving, and today patients are looking for more than just treatment. They're looking for providers who truly understand their needs, focus on prevention, and deliver a personalized experience. On this episode of the Growth Mode podcast and radio show, we're diving in to what it really takes to build and grow a modern medical practice that puts patients first. My guest today is a physician entrepreneur who started his own practice right here in San Antonio in 2018 and has grown it into one of the largest primary care groups in the area. Now, with over 17 locations, he's the founder and chief medical officer of Hillside Medical Group, Dr. Derin Patel. In our conversation, we're going to be talking about what inspired him to start Hillside, how he balances being both a physician and a business leader, and what truly sets his practice apart, and the role that patient experience, preventative care, and community awareness play in building a successful healthcare organization. We'll also touch on some of the biggest challenges facing medical practices today and what the future of healthcare could look like over the next few years. Dr. Derin Patel, thank you so much for being a guest on the Growth Mode podcast and radio show. I'm so excited to have you on.
Yeah, no, Nina, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate you giving us this opportunity to introduce myself and, of course, Hillside Medical Group to the community.
Awesome. All right, so let's dive in. Let's start with your story because every great practice begins with a vision. So for listeners who may not be familiar with Hillside Medical Group, can you share what your practice offers and the vision behind it?
Yeah, so starting with my own introduction, again, I'm Dr. Patel. I'm a board-certified internal medicine physician, and I trained at University of Kentucky. For many years after my training, I worked in a hospital, but then family really brought me to San Antonio, Texas. And at the time, my wife and I, both of us decided, the best what we need to do is start our own primary care practice. So you're right, back in 2018, we started the primary care practice called Hillside Primary Care, which later turned into multidisciplinary practice, who we are today, yes. Hillside Medical Group. And with 17 locations, we have over 50 providers, clinicians that are working with us, taking care of patients. We provide a wide variety of services.
Yes.
Heart still goes back to primary care, where primary care is what we do for majority of it, but then we have subspecialties like psychiatry, women's wellness, podiatry.
Yes.
We do our own in-house lab, allergy testing, and try to see where the gaps are to provide that comprehensive care.
I love that. I love all the variations of services. So as the founder, what inspired you to start Hillside Medical Group, and what gap did you see in healthcare that you wanted to fill?
Yeah. Reflecting back to that, many people, including my friends and family, like every other business owner would say, it was a fool's game. Starting a primary care practice in this day and age was a big undertaking, but we saw that there was a huge gap in primary care. When I started this back in 2018, I remember a development officer from one of the hospital systems came to me and said, "Oh man, Dr. Patel, you're going to be so busy in 3 months." I was like, "Oh man, it's probably not true." The reality was that's exactly what had happened. People were waiting almost 3 to 4 months to see primary care.
Oh my.
And to
Wow.
me, that was not acceptable.
Yeah.
We're in United States of America.
Yeah.
How is it the most basic service for getting into primary care is not available? That was not good enough for me. So
Yeah.
we started our practice in Universal City, and I love that town. My heart still belongs to that town,
Yes.
even though our primary location headquarters is turned into at Live Oak. We started our practice over there only to solve for one problem,
Yeah.
and I'll still walk through that, is access to care.
Yeah.
Fast forward 8 years, 50 providers, 17 locations.
Yeah.
We still have not resolved the problem. At this point, our office can provide care
Yeah.
in 24 to 48 hours, but there's still a lot of access to care issue that still needs to be resolved.
Wow. Okay. All right. So as both a physician and a CMO, I'm sure you wear multiple hats. How do you balance the clinical side with the leadership and growth of the organization?
Yeah, we've created an incredible team. So something we talked about a little bit earlier, and I've said it earlier as well, that this organization has molded into much bigger than myself. It's always been much bigger than myself.
Yeah.
And we have an incredible team of people that really do the day-to-day of taking care of patients. We have an incredible admin team with
Yeah.
our CEO, COO, directors. And on the clinical side, we have an incredible group of physicians also that support me
Yeah.
to make sure that both, and my job essentially is just to put both of it together and make sure the organization continues to
Yeah.
flow. Clinically, I did step back a little bit because I needed to put in a lot more time into the growth and organization. So I carve myself time out probably equally between the two at this point.
Right, right. Does that mean that you still see patients?
Yeah, I still see
Oh.
those first patients that we started out with. I
Yeah.
still try to stay engaged and continue to take care of them.
Okay, all right. All right, so such a strong foundation. All right, so now let's talk about how that translates into the way you care for patients. What sets Hillside Medical Group apart from other practices in the San Antonio area?
Yeah, so few things to reflect on to that. We take all insurances. We don't limit ourselves to certain insurances, certain plans. As long as we're in network with the insurance and the payer or the carriers want us to be in network with them, then we usually take everyone. So we take all patients of age 12 and above. So we really care for the entire family from the age of 12 to their parents, to their grandparents. And if we know San Antonio, right, the nuclear family definition in San Antonio is all children, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, everyone else in the neighborhood, right? So that's what really differentiates us apart is we take care of the patient as a whole, and we take care of the entire family.
Right. Awesome. I love that. All right. So how would you describe your philosophy, like when it comes to patient care and building long-term trust?
Yeah, we're very much so transparent and upfront from day one. Everything, when it comes to creating the patient's plan of care, to our expectations towards the patients, to financial burden that they have due to their insurances, everything is transparent upfront. As what we're trying to do over here is we're trying to build a relationship with the patient where they can trust for not just 1 year or 2 years. So we're going to be part of their life for the next 10, 15, 20 years. So that's always comes down to our first initial appointment, or the appointments lead later to that is the patients have to be able to be comfortable with us and trust our organization, trust our providers. Only then they will seek our advice in future.
Right.
So a lot of it is built between the patient and the provider together, rather than just pushing it down that because I am the doctor, you do what I ask. No, it's a relationship and the trust that we try to build with our patients.
Right.
from day one.
And it also helps that you have all these services under one roof.
Absolutely. That
Yeah.
improves our communication. What we call that improves our compliance with the patients as well,
Yeah.
because when we have lab in-house, it makes it convenient for the patients to get their labs done right there. But then
Yes.
also put in the transparency of the financial aspect of it, where the patients know exactly what they need to pay, how much they need to pay,
Yeah.
explain them the reasons for it, just puts two together and makes it that much easier.
Right.
Also improves our communication within our organization as well, because if our primary care provider needs to consult with our psychiatry,
Yeah.
they're a call away, and immediately we can
Yes.
get those patients in within the
Yeah.
for our follow-up visits.
Excellent, excellent. All right. So what are some of the most common health concerns you're seeing right now, and how are you addressing them?
I like to tell you some really fancy disease for your listeners and yourself. That would be exciting. But I'll tell you, I went to medical school 20 years ago. And at that time, heart disease was number one cause of death in the United States.
Yes, okay.
What leads to heart disease were the 5 risk factors: blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, smoking, and obesity.
Yes.
20 years down the road, even though we went through COVID and all of these, technology changes, medicine improvement, medical changes, progress, I'm sad to tell you, heart disease still remains number one cause of death in United States. So it always goes back to, we still commonly, every day, what we call in our medicine bread and butter.
Yeah.
It still remains blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, and obesity.
Right.
I think we're seeing better with smoking as the generations are changing.
Yeah.
But the other 4 still continues to remain.
Right. All right. So let's talk a little bit about preventative care. How important is preventative care in your model, and what are a few things people can start doing today to improve their overall health?
Absolutely. Everything is prevention.
Yes.
Preventive care is where everything for you to have a healthier journey, everything starts at prevention.
Yeah.
And usually when I'm in exam room, I tell patients, younger patients, male younger patients, that when we were under the shadow of our parents, we used to do our annuals during going to the pediatrician, getting our vaccines in place, getting our labs in place.
Yeah.
But then you go through a phase until you get married potentially, right? Or have a health scare from that age of 18 to sometime in 30s, that you just don't care about your health. You don't get your annuals done, but you should get your annuals done. You should get your labs completed on a yearly basis to make sure that you're not getting diabetes, you're not getting high blood pressure, you're not creating other challenges for yourself. Things like pap smear for women start at the age of 21.
Yes.
Right? We should be doing prevention. It is number one priority for us.
Right.
So for a typical patient that comes to us, the first thing that we do is we collect their history and physical, do full history and physical, followed by we get their annual labs completed to make sure that we can focus on those preventions.
Right.
Things like thyroid disease, vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin deficiencies are so common. You get used to feeling certain way and not recognize that it's impacting you.
Yes.
But that's where it gets started. We get an EKG done on you to make sure that you're not dealing with arrhythmias, but also having a baseline in your 20s and 30s, some sort of a normal finding that you can compare it to later down the road when you're having challenges. Super, super important. So everything starts at prevention.
Oh gosh, such great advice. All right, so what are some common misconceptions patients have when it comes to their health or treatment options?
Yeah, what we notice is there is some standard that one feels.
Yeah.
They're just fatigued, right? Oh, I'm just supposed to feel this way because I'm in my 20s or 30s. I'm just supposed to feel tired.
Yeah.
And what we notice is a lot of times our friends are in the same demographic, in the same age group.
Yeah.
So when you're talking to your friends, well, we're in our 30s, the back pain is just normal.
Yeah.
You know, feeling tired is just normal. No, it's not, right?
Right,
When
yeah.
you come to a doctor's office, especially primary care doctor's office, that's where we will be able to explore that are you going through challenges with vitamin deficiencies again? Do you have
Yes.
thyroid issue? Do you have excess weight that's driving some of these challenges?
Right.
Is it underlying cause diabetes that it could be causing it? So that's what we normally see is
Yes.
patients just start feeling that it's normal.
Normal, yeah.
But get it checked out,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it doesn't hurt to get it one more evaluation by a professional to know, and we may be able to share that, hey, there is a better for that. So many times I notice when we make the improvement, and then the patient's like, oh my God, I should have done this 5 years ago.
Yes.
Yes, you should have done this 5 years ago. It's
Right.
okay. When we wake up is when the day gets started.
Right.
You're here now, let's get started.
Yeah. Is there a great story that you can share? Like, and you know, obviously you don't have to mention any names or anything like that, but maybe someone who came in with an issue or whatever, and like really just transformed and just, came out so much better.
Yeah. So, technology is great. And of course, everyone Googles everything, right? So even myself, so, when there was that whole huge storm and pipes were bursted in San Antonio, I turned into plumber because I Googled and watched YouTube videos. So, but that's not necessarily true. We need to seek help from an expert.
Yes.
So I'll share a story with you on that. A patient that had been dealing with again, going back to this fatigue, it was a female in her 40s just dealing with this fatigue for quite some time. A lot of stressors as well that was going through. But stressors are something that you and I and everyone else just get used to. That's just life, and that's just what we deal with.
So true.
So we don't think of that being really causing a big physical impact.
Yeah.
But this person just kept coming in with this vague generalized aches and did research on it on Google. Google said you have a diagnosis, you may have heard of it, called fibromyalgia. And she just thought it was fibromyalgia. So she came to me, this was a few years ago.
Yeah.
And we went through the same checks and balances, history and physical, ordered her labs. Labs looked great, everything was okay.
Wow.
One of the things that we do in our practice is every patient gets screened for depression and anxiety. And it's because before we even knew the definition of epidemic and pandemic that we learned from COVID, there was a massive epidemic of depression and anxiety that no one paid attention to, because if you remember 15 20 years ago, depression and anxiety was not really focused on. It was like, oh, go get some sleep and you're going to feel better, right?
Yeah.
That's not the case anymore.
Or shake it off.
Or shake it off. Be tougher than that, right?
Yeah.
No, it's a true disease. So in this case, the patient, I did just ask a few questions, screened her for depression and anxiety, and she just lit up. And all we did was just put her on appropriate medications. And these medications do take about 3 months for patients to start seeing a difference.
Right.
A few months down the road, the patient and the spouse came and said they've not felt, both of them have never been better than what they felt at the time. Of course, the spouse felt different because they recognized that they ended up having that significant other back, and the patient, the generalized aches were going away, a lot more energy was coming through. It's just one example of many that it impacts one's life.
So she started feeling like herself again.
Felt like herself again, a lot more energy, the body aches were going away, and just overall feeling that energy coming back.
Wow.
So,
oh, that's a great story. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. So beyond treatment, the overall patient experience experience has become, such an important part of healthcare today. From your perspective, what matters most to patients today when choosing a healthcare provider?
Yeah, so the patient experience is really, when we see it from our side, it's divided between the generations at this time. Like what I mean by that is our elderly patients, and I'll group them as 55 and above because I feel they're different generation.
Yeah.
They value and they understand that going to a doctor's office is a process, meaning they carve out enough time. They make it into as if you were going to go get your hair done, right? Hair, if you're getting your hair done, it's at least, my wife says, at least 2 hour to 3 hour transaction where, they need to do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But our senior population or elderly, that generation, they respect that. It's a process and they give us enough time to go through those motions. Whereas our younger population, we notice that they're in a rush. They're just, get me in and out. It's everything is almost like going to urgent care. But when you're going to a primary care provider, it's not like going to an urgent care. You really need to give that any primary care for that matter, give them enough time. I always tell our patients that give us 90 minutes, from 15 minutes to do your check-in process, 15 minutes to do your vitals, EKG, other tests that we may want to do for prevention aspect of it, to giving our providers about 15 to 25 to 30 minutes of the time, and another 15 minutes in a perfect situation. You want to give at least your primary care office hour to hour and a half, carve that time out.
Wow.
Life's going to keep moving on. Everyone is in a race, but this is so important. Touch base. Example I use with my patients is we may have a car that's worth $30,000. You get your oil change done every 3 months so the car doesn't break down. Why do we not view our body more valuable than that? You should touch base with your primary care doctor every 3 months, especially if you have comorbidities such as blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, which will, and statistics have shown over and over again, for decades will lead to heart disease, which is number one cause of death again.
Right. And then the time that you take out, for a patient, I mean, that's another way that you really set yourself apart from everybody else.
Absolutely. So sometimes our offices may run behind, but one of the things that we constantly hear is never do patients feel that they were rushed. When my providers, my physicians, and myself, when we're in that exam room, sometimes patients say it, that Dr. Patel, I don't want to take up too much of your time. And I go back and no. This is your time. My time is your time, and I am here for you. Tell me what do you need out of us, and we're here for you.
I would feel spoiled.
It's true, and we want to spoil our patients.
Oh gosh, I love that. So as you've grown Hillside Medical Group, I'm sure there have been some challenges along the way. What have been some of the biggest challenges you faced in building and growing Hillside Medical Group?
Yeah, taking care of patients is the easiest job because they're kind, they're respectful, and all of us, when we look at clinicians, all of us have put in over a decade going through school after high school to live out this dream of taking care of patients. So taking care of patients is the easiest. The challenges normally comes in is through insurances and benefits and all of that, but we've created an incredible team that support us on day to day. Our COO does a lot of back-end training with our staff to be able to educate patients because insurances have changed in the last 15 years. I remember when I used to be under my parents' insurance, everything was covered. Now, just like your car insurance, everything is deductible. Which is such a different concept that we were not used to. I think educating our patients about the insurances is by far the biggest challenge that we deal with. Besides that, our patients are very respectful and understanding of where we stand as an organization and what we're trying to accomplish. Taking care of the patients is always the easy part.
All right, so let's talk about vision and future growth. Looking ahead, there's a lot of opportunity in healthcare. What does success look like for Hillside Medical Group over the next 12 to 24 months?
Yeah, the way I have always viewed success is making sure that two things we're always doing right, and that's one, taking care of our patients, and two, taking care of our employees. I mean, something that I use a lot and say a lot in our organization, that if we just do these two things right, everything else is a noise and we can figure it out, right? Challenges are all part of every organization and we can figure it out. Besides that, to us, we're trying to still going back to access to care gap. That's what I'm trying to solve for, and I'm going to keep working on that. So if that means that we need to go from 17 locations to 50 locations, from 50 providers to 200 providers, that's where we'll be. But that's the solution that I'm looking for, is how it still does not bode well to me that in United States of America, where healthcare and being able to go to your primary care should be just a basic, we still not able to do so. Until we reach there. We're going to keep working on it. So.
Amazing story. I'm so inspired by all the information you've provided.
Absolutely.
Yes. And before we wrap up, how can listeners learn more, schedule an appointment, or connect with your team?
Yeah, so of course, through online platform, if you go to hillsideprimarycare.com, you should be able to find all the necessary information to learn more about us, our providers, every single one of them. And to book appointments, patients can utilize our online platform, which is super user-friendly, directly through our website. Again, hillsideprimarycare.com, or they can call us at 210-742-6555, and there is an army of people ready to assist them.
I love that. Awesome. Dr. Patel, thank you so much for being a guest on the Growth Mode podcast and radio show and sharing all your insights and your vision for Hillside Medical Group. I've really enjoyed this conversation.
Absolutely, Nina. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
Yes, our pleasure. Yes, so we talked about what inspired you to start your practice, how you're approaching patient care in a more personalized and preventative way, and what it takes to balance being both a physician and a leader in today's healthcare environment. We also discussed the importance of patient experience, building trust within the community, and the strategies needed to grow and sustain a successful medical practice. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a conversation that helps you grow. And if you're a business owner, a practice leader, or a marketing director looking to elevate your brand, whether through strategic digital campaigns, storytelling, or even your own podcast, I'd love to help you create a strategy that gets you seen, found, and chosen. We even offer a Get Found, Get Heard package that combines organic SEO with targeted radio. And it's designed to help you build trust, drive traffic, and generate real results. It's no pressure, it's just real solutions tailored to your goals. You can reach me anytime at growthmode@salemsurround.com, or you can call me at 210-526-3626. And until next time, keep pushing forward and stay in growth mode.
Thanks for listening to the Growth Mode podcast with Nina Labbe. Stay connected, keep learning, and keep growing. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you next time on Growth Mode.
Want to grow your business online and on the air? Right now, when you sign up for a 6-month organic SEO campaign at $3,100 a month, we'll include a free radio schedule, 1 week per month for 6 months to help kickstart your visibility. That's a $5,000 value in radio advertising, designed to drive awareness and leads from day one. Don't miss it. Email Nina Labbe at growthmode@salemsurround.com or call 210-526-3626 to learn more.